I got a letter the other day from one of my subscribers that came from California here for a lifestyle preview program. And when I read the letter, I was a little bit taken back. Let me get a little bit more light here, because apparently her visit was rather disappointing. So I'm going to make this, I'm going to post it, because I know there are a lot of villages, realtors that watch my videos. And this is something that I can't do anything about, but maybe you can pass the word along of some, apparently, some mistakes that were made, or some things that maybe ought to be corrected. I don't know. But also I want to answer a couple of questions that she had on here. This is from Nancy and John. She asked me not to use her last name, and I won't. Talking about the reason why they're coming here. One is because the price of homes in California, which is where they come from, is astronomical, as I mentioned before. They live in basically a 940 square foot home, 2-bedroom, 1-bath. People are on top of one another, and a lot of noise, a lot of this, a lot of that. They don't have anybody, nobody's got air conditioning, so everybody's got the windows open when it's hot, and blah, blah, blah. And they say the crime rate there is climbing. Southern California, you know, that's just the way I seen things there. That doesn't surprise me none. So anyway, they've been broken into, things have been stolen, the cars have been broken into, and houses there, 1,000 square feet, are $1 million, and they have to be fixed up at that cost. I didn't think they was that high, because when I was there, an average about 11, 12, 1,300 square foot home in an average neighborhood was between $350,000 to $500,000, and those were fixer-uppers. And that turned me off real quick. Anyway, she talks about some of the good things. She said all the people here that she talked to was very friendly. They offered to help them out on anything they needed. Offered them golf cart rides to and from wherever they needed to go. Show them around, because golf cart trails here can be confusing. They said they loved the community standards. They said every house in every neighborhood was kept up, the lawns were clean, and that's part of your district agreements about keeping your lawn a certain way, and so on and so forth. And they drove everywhere from Mulberry Grove all the way down to Finney, touring everything. And she said they also toured the historic area. She said, we came to the conclusion that the only difference in neighborhoods was mature landscaping in the older sections. Every single neighborhood was beautiful, and they are. We love the flowers and all the roundabouts. We all do. Trust me when I tell you, there's a few naysayers here that grumble about them flowers constantly. How much it costs to change them every 3 and 4 months, and blah, blah, blah. But I don't want them to change a thing. You know, it always amazed me is how people buy here because of the way it looks, the way it's kept. And as soon as they move in, they complain about the thing that attracted them in the first place. Let me tell you a little story real quick. I remember when downtown Lake Sumter Landing was new. There was flowers all over Lake Sumter Landing, all over it. Right now it's Panera Bread, but back in the day that wasn't Panera Bread. But anyway, there was flowers all in front of that. All the palm trees had flowers planted around them. All around the square was flower beds all around them. You go there today, you don't see any flowers. Let me tell you why. And I'm not a dog hater, so don't get me wrong. I am a people that own dogs. I just think they need to be slapped upside their head or something. I don't get it. But anyway, the reason why they changed all them flowers now to just plain old, ordinary, scrubby, green-looking crap is because of dog piss. They let dogs all over up there when it was new, and they'd pee on all the flowers. They'd kill them. They just everywhere. And then they got tired of replacing them and got tired of things looking shabby. So they replaced everything with the green plants, because dog pee doesn't hardly kill the green plants. That's why you don't see flowers there. Thank you, dog owners. I should say the bad dog owners. Choo, 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 choo. Okay, let's move on to page 2. She wrote me like a 5-page letter here, so, and she was very good. Her descriptions and names, she's very good. The visual highlight was the interior of the Barnstorm Theater. Yeah, it's unusual. We are from Los Angeles, with many top quality movie theaters in Hollywood. The Barnstorm Theater far and away outdid any expectations we had. We did not get to the other movie theaters and wondered if they were just as spectacular. They all have their own theme. They're all different, but they're all in their own way spectacular. The one thing we were not prepared for was the area surrounding the villages. We drove around nearly the entire perimeter from 441 to 42 to 301 to 44. After driving around the beautiful village neighborhoods, we were shocked to see conditions of the surrounding communities. Houses were falling apart. Yeah, I don't know if I'd say falling apart. You might have been in a bad area, but there's a lot of areas around the villages that they're not falling apart. They're just fine. So that's stretching it just a little bit. And yards look like jungles. Some do, but most don't. This is a tropical area, so you're not going to see landscaped yards and lush green grass here in most people's yards. But in some cases, you're correct. There's some of these houses around here, it's a poor area. Sumter County, I think at one time, was the poorest area in Florida, and the Villages now has turned that around. There's job opportunities now, but it's still basically a poor area. There were a lot of backcountry swamps and cattle farms. Well, that's what this whole area was. This whole area was farm. Matter of fact, where Pine Ridge and Pine Hills and all that is over there, that was a dairy farm. One of the only dairy farms in this whole area that is now gone. Then we re-entered the villages and we had a sigh of relief. It really is like living in a bubble, and that's where I do get the expression, we are in a bubble. Another thing we were not prepared for was seeing old ladies working strenuous, on-your-feet jobs such as fast food workers, grocery baggers, and waitresses in restaurants. We saw women clearly older than 70 years old working these jobs. We wondered to ourselves why they were working those type of jobs. Did they run out of money in retirement and are just trying to get by? You know, in some situations that might be true. You got to remember, a lot of these jobs that you see in the villages, you don't have to live here to work there. Some of the guard gate people you see here, they don't live here. They live in surrounding communities, and they come here, they work a job. Most people that work those jobs that don't live here are just paying their bills, you know, doing their thing. But a lot of the people that do live here, they want something to do. Because after you're here for a while, you have a tendency to start getting bored of certain things that maybe when you bought here you thought was, boy, I got to do that. I can tell you for the first couple years, we went down to the square 2, 3, 4 times a week. We loved it. Watched some people dance, listen to the music, all that kind of thing. I haven't been down to the square in Brownwood or Lake Sumter or anything like that for probably 2 years now. I'm just bored with it. Just tired, that's all. I do like to play golf, but I have times to where I just don't want to play golf. I don't want to play this week, don't want to play next week, and then I'll get back into it later on down the road, but I just don't want to play anymore. I haven't played golf now for going on 3 weeks. Not that I got anything against the game or anything like that. It's just, I just get bored with it. And so some of these people just want something to do. And remember, these jobs that they're working, they're not working 40 and 50 hours a week either. They don't do that here. Most of them are restricted to roughly 30 to 32 hours a week, and they stop it and send you home. And a lot of them that are on Social Security, unless they're over a certain age, they can only make so much a year anyway. But I know a lot of people that work part-time jobs, not because they need the money. It's just something that give them something to do, to fill in the time of day. And it gives them a reason to get out of bed and do something. Now for the not so good. This is the part you need to understand. It started with the very first phone call to the lifestyle reservation agent. I called about 6 months in advance of our visit. She told us all about the villages and asked us what we were interested in. I told her about the housing type and location that appealed to us as a retirement home. She asked us which kind of activities would we like to try while we were there. I told her we were interested in trying golf, pickleball, and meeting up with the bicycle club. She told us no problem, that there were plenty of opportunities for those activities. At the time of the reservation, they required the full payment of $800 for 8 days. No deposit, only full payment. I asked for a confirmation number and email receipt. They did not do that. I was told that my credit card bill was my receipt. She told me I would get nothing in the mail or email. I would get a phone call about 1 month before my visit to coordinate our lifestyle visit. I was a bit irritated with this policy. When I pay $800 for something, I like to have proof that we are listed in the reservation system. Lo and behold, a few days later, an email showed up with the payment amount and arrival date. I felt better. Whenever you start getting into a large corporation, you know, sometimes the right hand doesn't know what the left one's doing. Let's see, about a month after my reservation, I did get a phone call and an email from someone named Linda Holzer. She took down our flight information and asked us what we would like to do on our visit. I told her we were interested in a designer home with no fence. She asked us if we had a dog, which we do. She insisted that we needed to buy a courtyard villa for our dog. I said, no, that is not what I wanted. The last thing I need is having neighbors who stick their dog in a courtyard to bark all day long. We almost got into an argument about it. She was very high pressure. That's really unusual. Villages here, they sell houses so fast, so quick. I've been to many home shows, many. And I have a lot of friends that's been to many home shows, open houses, that kind of thing. Never, ever any high pressure. Ever, never. They don't follow you around the house telling you about stuff. No, they don't care if you buy. Because if you don't buy, the next one coming along does buy. So that kind of surprises me that you say there was high pressure. I told her that we wanted to try golf, pickleball, and bicycle, and she said no problem with those activities. So that's twice now she's had to tell people that what she wanted to do while she was here. Then something happened and Linda was no longer our contact person. We were passed along to Tony Phillips. We repeated the same as above, so that's 3 times she's told somebody what she wanted to do. Then about a month before our visit, we were passed along to Debbie Weir. We repeated the same as above. That's another time she's had to tell people. I understand this part because I've done this before. I get so frustrated with this, no matter who it is. I told her that we wanted to play golf, but had never played before. Never played before. That could be a problem. It really ain't a problem, but it can be. Previously, my husband had belonged to a country club. Well, here's the thing right there real quick. If you've never played before, first thing you got to have is a set of clubs for each of you. You can't have one set of clubs and share them. You got to have a club for each of you. So it means you got to rent a club because on a lifestyle visit, they don't provide golf clubs. So it means you got to rent 2 sets of clubs actually. And I don't know where you go to do that. I don't know if you could go to any country club and rent a couple sets of clubs. I don't know if you can go to Sarasota and do that. I don't know. But that's the first thing. They should be able to provide you with that information. And was excited that I wanted to play. She told me that it was not possible for me to play golf on my lifestyle visit. Now see, that's kind of shocking too. Because I've talked to a lot of people that's had lifestyle visits, and they told me, all of them told me, they get 1 free round of championship play, and they get 1 free round per visitor for executive play. So by her telling you that there was no way, I don't understand that. I don't get that at all. I'm shocked by that. I really am. The only thing I could do was to go to the putt and play at Fanny. You can do whatever you want to do. I don't get what she's telling you. That's the only thing you can do, because as a lifestyle visitor, you get kind of like a residence pass, and you can go anywhere that anybody else can go. But there is a problem in the wintertime. You came in the winter, and I've had videos about this wintertime visit. So you either didn't watch them or you wasn't paying attention to what I said about coming here in the wintertime. I told her that if I was not allowed to play golf, then I would be happy to ride along in the golf cart while my husband played golf. Oh no, that is not allowed. Well, it is allowed. It was in the paper here not too long ago that you can now ride along with somebody that plays golf and you don't have to play. There might be a charge for that on the championship course. I don't know that there is or not. On the executive course, I don't think there is a charge. I don't think. But I do know you can on the executive course. You can now ride along. That rule's been changed. Then I told her I would, okay, it says not to bother anybody. Oh no, that is not allowed. Even you, Skip, when we inquired about a meet and greet, said that golf was not possible, even though I had never mentioned it to you. No. You've either misunderstood what I said or whatever. I have never told anybody that golf here is not allowed. I don't run the villages at all. I just report what I know. The only email that I may have gotten from you is that somebody did send me an email a while back about a meet and greet, and they wanted to meet me for some golf. And I sent them an email back, and it might have been you, saying that golf would be out of the question. That means I'm not playing because I had things to do for whatever dates you had coming, so I couldn't make it to play golf because I have my regular guys that I play with and so on and so forth. That's probably what I said. Nowhere did you ever hear me say that you can't play golf here in the villages. I don't have that say so. Okay, so there's no golf allowed for a beginner. I finally got it. Well, that's not true. The executive courses is a perfect place for a beginner to go and learn to play golf. Well, I would go to Sarasota and hit a bucket of balls or something first to get an idea how to swing a club. Because you got to remember, there's people behind you that's wanting to play. And you have to keep a certain pace. You can't mess around on every hole and dick around for a half an hour to play a hole. There's people in front of you, there's people behind you, especially in the wintertime. These golf courses are full. So you have to keep a pace of play. And as long as you can do that and don't hold people up, you can play. Let's see. The Villages pushes and advertises there are more than 40 golf courses. Play free executive courses for the rest of your life. I don't know if that number is correct. 40 golf courses. That may or may not be true. I don't know. I don't keep up with that. Play free executive courses for the rest of your life. It's free if you walk. It's not free if you drive a golf cart. I've had that video too. That if you drive a golf cart, it's $4, even if you're a resident. It's $4 per person. It's called a trail fee to drive your golf cart on a trail on the executive courses. Or you can buy a 6-month or a yearly pass. I do the yearly pass because it's a no-brainer. It's $144 a year. If you play 2 or 3 times a week, do the math. It's a no-brainer. And so that's what I do. On championship courses, there is no trail fee. It's part of the price. I expected that a lifestyle visit would allow me to test out the water, so to speak. Not happening. All right, then into pickleball. That looks fun. I had not played that either and wanted to try it. Oh no, you cannot just try pickleball. No, you can't. I've done video on all this. You have to sign up on a reservation system. No beginners allowed. That's not true. The only thing I was allowed to do was get signed up for a pickleball 101 class on Friday. That part is true. 6 days into our 8-day visit. Okay, I guess I will take what I can at this point. She said since I could not do golf, that she would sign me up for air gun rifles. I have never done that either. Okay, at least it is some sort of activity. I will give it a try. She said all the information would be listed on a sheet when we checked in. Then about a week before the visit, we were passed along to Jay Lansing. And 2 days before our visit, we were passed along to our fifth person, Will Grove. We were to arrive on Sunday, but were told he was busy and he would not meet us until Wednesday afternoon. We were never given a phone number or email to contact Will Grove. We were just supposed to show up at the sales office. So Sunday arrives and we show up at the sales office. We tell them that our contact person is Will Grove. The first person we met had never heard of him. Then another fellow by the name of Ed showed up and said Will Grove got tired of waiting for us and left for the day and would not be back until Wednesday afternoon, but not to worry. Ed would take us to our bungalow and get us settled in. After Ed showed us a few basics like where the neighborhood pool was and how to work the air conditioner, he left. So we settled into our bungalow and started looking around. There was a sheet of paper with a checkout time in our name, but nothing else. No phone numbers to contact anybody. No list of activities that we were signed up for. No recreation guide, nothing. So we went back to the sales office the next day. They had no information about us. We were told that they were out of recreational guides, but they have them at the recreation centers. We went to several recreation centers and they were all out of recreation guides. We were told the new ones would be available on Thursday, 5 days into our visit. Well, I don't know what's going on there because there's a lot of facts here that I don't know what's going on. Like when you say that you were supposed to meet him at the sales office. I don't know what time you showed up. When he said meet me at the sales office, I would take that as first thing in the morning. So like 9 o'clock in the morning, be there. But you didn't say what time you showed up. If you showed up at 2 in the afternoon, he probably had things to do. These are real estate people, I think, that you're meeting. Some of these names kind of sound like real estate people. So they make their money selling houses. And they don't make any money showing you around. I'm not offering that as an excuse. I'm just simply saying that they don't volunteer. It's part of their job to do so many open houses a month and those kinds of things. But it sounds like that he had a house to show or something and he had to go. So being passed along to somebody else, that doesn't really surprise me. What surprised me is the fact that you say that they didn't have no information about you, but yet they had a villa available for you. I don't know what's going on there. It sounds like somebody's not being told everything. I don't know what's going on. As far as phone numbers go, you had some phone numbers. You said earlier that you had called to make this reservation. So you had some phone numbers to call to find out what's going on. I don't know. I mean, it just sounds like there's a whole bunch of problems here that I don't get. I've never heard of this before. I haven't, but that don't mean anything. Recreational guides, I don't know anything about that either. I got a pile of recreational guides right here that I send out to my contacts when they ask for one, my subscribers. So I don't know why they don't have that. As far as activities go, I've done videos about this before. Matter of fact, in the conversation of Chuck and Sharon, it's even mentioned in that conversation too, that a lot of people come down here in the wintertime and they willy-nilly think they can just show up at any activity and do it. And that's not going to happen in most cases. This place is full of people in the wintertime. And if they have an activity going on, you generally have to sign up for those things, sometimes weeks in advance. And if it's inside one of the rec centers, like a card game or table tennis or something like that, that's inside a rec center, in a room in a rec center, they only can take so many people because of fire codes. You can't put 100 people in a room that's made for 50. They're not going to do that. So you have to sign up. You got to sign up early. And that is a problem in the wintertime here. You just can't show up. And as far as pickleball goes, I don't do pickleball. I do know that they're in the recreation guide, and I know you didn't have one. I don't know why you didn't have one, because it should have been right there at that your villa that you stayed in. It should have been one there. But yeah, you have to go through that if you've never played pickleball. Then you have to go to the beginners thing. They teach you how to play, teach you the rules and all that kind of stuff. Because you can't hold a course up for many hours for other people not to play. I mean, if you ever watch the pickleball games, the more experienced people, the advanced players and so on and so forth, in the wintertime, there's so many people want to play, you'll see a lot of them sitting along the line of a fence or something. I don't play it, but it's like those people will play, and they rotate, and one or two will come off the course and they go back to the back of the line, and then these other two people will go up there and they start playing. They actually rotate people in and rotate people out so everybody can play. Now on the beginner's course, if you've never played, see, it makes it hard for everybody else. So you have to go to the beginner's courses, and in the recreational guide, it tells you what recreational area. Is it going to be at Alamanda Rec Center area? Is it going to be, it could be anywhere. Is it going to be one down here? Is it, you know, around the Hillsborough area? Is it going to be one over at the Finney area? Or could it be over here at Eisenhower? And you have to look at that, and it'll tell you on there the times too. Beginner air starts at 2 o'clock and ends at 4. That's 2 hours. And that's it. You go there for the beginner's thing for 2 hours and you're out, because after that something else takes over. So, and that's true anywhere down here for about anything really. Even the swimming volleyball, which I used to do, those are reserved. Our neighborhood has it reserved. It used to be Wednesday, and I forget the hours. I want to say something like noon to 2 at Eisenhower. And then on Saturday, it's like noon till 2 at the Rohan Rec Center for my neighborhood to do the water volleyball. And those are closed to residents only. You're not even supposed to have a guest in there. The sports pools is for residents only. I know, they sneak people in all the time, but you're not supposed to. So, you know, and even us, if there's more people that show up than we have space for, we rotate. Some players come out, other players go in. And in the wintertime, that's really bad. I mean, so that part I can kind of understand about the pickleball thing. Let's see here, let me go on. I'm trying to skip through here. We visited Stonecrest. They have much nicer homes for the same price point. But we decided it was too small for us with not enough activities. We also went to several furniture stores. First we went to Babette's, then to City Furniture. The prices were a bit high, and the thought of buying all new furniture for a house quickly had us rethinking our budgets. Then we went to Bargains and Treasures, a used furniture store. We could not believe what great prices they had on used furniture. Some of the pieces look nearly brand new. Yeah, I've had that video too. Sue done a video there. Up north, we would never even consider going to a consignment store for one reason or another. But down here, we did, because there's a lot of homes here that they rent them out a month or two in the wintertime. And then when the people finally do retire and come down here, all of that furniture, they get rid of it and they buy all brand new furniture for themselves. The furniture is like barely used. And you can buy it sometimes half the price. And so there's some great deals sometimes. Okay, on our travels around town, we stopped at a recreation center and happened to find a ceramic club making pottery and plates. They were very friendly and told us all about their projects. Out loud I said, "This looks like fun. Maybe I could join this club when we move to villages." "Oh no," I said out. "You cannot join this club unless you have taken a college level course in pottery. No beginners allowed." I was disappointed. That happens in a lot of these classes. You have to have either prior experience, you have to have maybe equipment to be able to join certain things. The classes are usually full. Some classes you have to put your name on a waiting list to even get in them. One of them that comes to my mind is glass infusion. You have to have experience in that or you cannot join the class. How they determine how much experience you got is beyond, I don't know that, but they have a way of knowing. Softball is a big thing here. Just because you've played softball, it doesn't mean you're going to go to the, I don't know how they rate them, but to the #1 leagues. You have to work your way up. And then there's an age limit on certain groups. The 50 to 60 group, the 60 to 70 group, that kind of thing. Dragon boats is another one. They have several different leagues in the dragon boat. And you have to qualify for each one of those. You just can't jump in there and say, I'm going to do this one. It don't work that way. So yeah, some of these things you have to kind of know what you're doing. They have certain qualifications. I'll tell you another one, the woodworking shop, for all you guys that would like to do woodworking shop. And they have a nice one up there with all the equipment in there. You just can't go in with your village's pass and with an armful of wood and then fire up the machinery and start working. It don't work that way. They have certain things that you have to do. They have certain things you have to qualify for. And then, you know, you have to talk to the guy that runs that up there because that's just the way it's done. Oh, I had never seen one before and asked a whole bunch of questions. Oh, they had yoga class she's talking about. Wanted to do yoga. But when they scanned the cards, we were in the system and everything seemed fine. We told them we wanted to try the yoga class. Oh no, you cannot do that. We did not even bother to ask why this time. We just walked out. We were quite frustrated that we were not able to do any of the activities that interested us at the villages. Upon leaving, we walked over to the pickleball courts to see what they looked like. We longingly looked at them and discovered they were empty. We walked away and passed by a shed that had a door open. We peeked inside out of curiosity. There were some pickleball paddles and balls in there, unlocked, and nobody was watching. We decided to be rebels and grabbed the equipment and went to play pickleball by ourselves. We were waiting for a security person to come and discipline us, but one never came. We finished and put the equipment back in the shed. We also discovered equipment for shuffleboard and cornhole. We grabbed the shuffleboard stuff and played the game by ourselves. We were quite pleased that we finally got to do some of the activities. That's normal. Those sheds are at every rec area with all the equipment in there. The pickleball courts, the tennis courts, the shuffleball courts, the bocce ball courts, horseshoe courts, all that stuff that you've seen there, that's where the recreation guide comes in. There are certain times of day or maybe a certain day of the week and certain weeks of the month. Those courts will be reserved between certain hours for certain clubs because they got a thing going on. And all those reservations are being done generally by residents here in the villages. They're calling up to that rec center and they're filling out these papers. I've done that. I've rented a room and I've done that. And they're selling us a paper, what time, what date, whatever for my club, and they reserve them. And then that means you can't play there. But they also have open time, open play, so to speak. And that's in the guide. That this tennis court's over here at this rec center, open play from noon to 4. So for 4 hours, anybody can play. Open play on the pickleball court over here at this rec center from 2 to 5. Anybody can play. You really need that rec guide to be able to kind of guide you along a little bit. And why one of those real estate people didn't provide you with one is I'm a little lost. I don't know. Wednesday afternoon finally arrives and we get to meet Will, our only contact person. We talked about the activities. He quickly informed us that we were not allowed to do air gun rifle unless we had brought our own gun. We do not own such things. Another activity we were not allowed to do. There's one day a week, and I don't know what day that is, or maybe it's one day a month, it's in the paper, I read it, unless they stopped it, and I don't keep up with this stuff, where you can show up as a resident or a guest, and the guest has to be with the resident, and they provide you with an air pistol or an air rifle and all ammunition to try it out. But I don't know what day of the week or month those are. And there's 2 air rifle places that I know of. One is down here at Rohan. That's probably the one you went to. And I don't know if the rules are the same at both places or not. And then the other one is up by Spanish Springs, along Morris Boulevard there. I don't even know the name of the area, but it's up there along Morris Boulevard, not too far from Spanish Springs. And anyway, but your real estate person should have been able to set you up. I mean, after all, you're down here, maybe you're a potential home buyer, so they should have set you up, and I don't understand what's going on there. We were under the impression that we could try different and new activities on a lifestyle visit. Apparently, this is not the case. So Will sits us down and asks us what type of house we are interested in. They've already explained this like 5 times now, right? Having spent 4 days driving around, we had narrowed down exactly what appealed to us. We were interested in a resale house within 4 neighborhoods near Spanish Springs. We told him we had absolutely no interest in buying in the Finney area. Then he starts the high pressure sales. That really shocks me. There is no high pressure sales here. Never has been. So I don't know what's going on there. Then after much back and forth, we finally agree that he will take us to see a new house in Finney and then take us to look at houses near Spanish Springs. We get down to Finney and drive by the Putt and Play. I told Will that I wanted to stop for 2 minutes and check it out because he wanted to play some sort of golf while we were here. Oh no, we cannot stop there. We must continue on to see houses for sale. He told us if we wanted to see the Putt and Play, we could drive ourselves back down here when we get back to Brownwood. I was very disappointed. So Will takes us to a new house in Finney. Okay, it was new. I was not pleased with the floor plan or the location. We wanted to go to Spanish Springs now. Wait, there is another house next door with a different floor plan. So we go, okay, he's pushing new houses down there. We told him we were not here to Finney. Finally, we get back into the car and he drives us back to Brownwood. Okay, he drives them back to Brownwood. He tells us there is no time to go to Spanish Springs. He told us we could drive ourselves to some open houses. We had expected that he would take us back inside the sales office and hand us a brochure. But no, he dropped us off at the curb of the sales office and drove off and never to be seen or heard from again the rest of our visit. We were very disappointed. Next day we drove ourselves down to Finney in a car to play golf. We discovered that you cannot park a car there. I must be talking about the Putt and Play. We had to park at Sugarcane Rec Center and walk to the Putt and Play. It was a small trek, but not impossible. We get there to read a sign that says equipment is provided, but you have to go to the Finney Recreation Center to check it out. We would have to now walk all the way back to Sugarcane, get in our car, drive all the way to Finney, check out the equipment, drive all the way back to Sugarcane, walk all the way to the Putt and Play, play golf, and walk all the way back to the car, then drive all the way back to Finney at the Recreation Center. We said to heck with it all and just left Finney. We never played any golf while on our visit. A point of interest though, while we were at Putt and Play, there was a retention pond right next to it. We saw our first wild alligator. It was laying there on the opposite bank from us. It had its mouth wide open. That's how they cool themselves down a lot, as they open their mouth. It's called a gate. They gate. It prompted a big discussion between my husband and me. The alligator is just a few yards from the back of houses. At any time, it could just mosey up there and be waiting just outside the lanai door. What if it was nighttime and a person went out their lanai door to take their dog out to pee? Not a good situation. It sealed the deal for us that we were not buying a house near water. Well, if gators bother you, then you don't want to be near water, because if you see water, there's a gator in it. That's the rule of thumb. You don't walk your dog around it either. Don't walk your dog around a pond, near a pond, because that gator, when he sees your dog, all he sees is dinner. On our last day of our visit, we went sightseeing again to regional rec centers to see the decor. At one of them, they had table tennis set up in a room. We peeked in the door just to see what there was to see. A guy immediately saw us and invited us to come in a room. We said we were just looking around. He explained that it was open play. That's what I was saying a while ago. There are certain hours on certain days on these games. It's open play. That means anybody can play. It was so nice to actually be welcome to an activity. We had great fun playing table tennis. I had not played it since I was a kid. We left the recreation center in high spirits with a thought that maybe there was hope for doing more activities in the future. My husband had a great experience with the bicycle club. Before we arrived, he contacted a group leader. He was welcome to join the group for rides. We went on 2 rides, one out of Sumter Landing and the other one out of Bradenton Rec Center. That's just around the corner over here. Both groups welcomed him with open arms and invited him to come back again. We had great difficulty finding out what model of home we were staying in and how much square footage it was. We asked when we checked in at the sales office. We asked our salesperson. We asked again at the sales office when we checked out. Nobody had any idea. All we knew was that was a whole lot bigger than our apartment. I later found that the house next door was up for sale. Based on the internet description, it was 1,700 square feet. Our place looked like it was the same size, so we will go with that. The nice thing about staying in the bungalow was that we were able to assess what we did and do not like, what we did and what we do not like about the construction and floor plan. We quickly formed an opinion about the tile floor in the kitchen and the standard Villages carpet in the bedroom. At first, it seemed like too big a space for us, but by the end of the week, we appreciated the large space. We had elbow room to live, the garage size for 1 car and 1 golf cart. We quickly formed an opinion about our own needs when we buy a house. We need a bigger garage. I'm with you on that. We also learned that the vinyl fence creaks terribly when the wind blows. By staying there, we really did get a sense of what it would be like to live in a relatively new construction. We just need to find out bigger apartment. After being home a few days with time to reflect on our visit, we have come to the conclusion that the Villages is a great place to retire. We just need to find our fit in the activities department. You really need to. And it ain't the activities department. You just need to figure out what is it you want to do. And I've done a video on this 2 or 3 different times. Know what it is you want to do, and that will tell you where you want to live. I'm just saying, if you know you want to go to the swimming pool every day, and there's people that do. If you know you want to play pickleball every day, and there's people that do. If you know you want to play golf every day, and there's people that do, then you know what you want to live around, and how close do you want to be to it. You know, if you want to go to the square every day and dance every night, and there's people that do, then you know you want to be fairly close to the downtown area, or at least a reasonable golf cart ride down there. So just kind of know what you want to do, and that kind of helps pick an area as to where you want to buy a house. What is the biggest mistake people make? And you answer to the equivalent that people are too quick to buy a home. I've always said that. Take your time. There's always houses for sale. You know, people just seem to think when they come down here and they look at a house, oh my God, I'm going to buy this one right here while I'm here. That's fine if you want to do that. That's fine. I got no problem with it. But I'm just saying you don't have to do that. We saw plenty of people quick to buy a house at the Finney sales office. The place was packed with people. This is winter time. This is when the snowbirds are here. And there's a big percentage of these snowbirds that are down here renting a house somewhere for 3 months. And they're here to buy. And they brought their checkbook. So just know that. We decided what we need to do is to come back for a visit during the worst of summer and see what it is like during that time of year. Yes, I've always said, come here in the middle of summer at its hottest, and that's the rainy season also, and see if you can stand the heat and the rain. And if you can't, then this ain't no place for you. And I'm not talking about the villages, I'm talking about the whole state of Florida. You just need to move on somewhere else. Oh, we need to experience the summer weather activities and the people just like you have always suggested in your videos. Summertime, I'm just going to tell you how I feel about it. I like the late spring, summer, and fall the best. The snowbirds are gone. And I'm not blaming anything on snowbirds, that's just what they're called. The part-timers are gone. And access to everything here is so much easier. Restaurants, everything, you just name it. The tee times on the golf courses, yeah, it's just so much easier. Your pickleball courts are open more during the days because they don't have the private, or I won't say private, they don't have the clubs and things reserving these courses and things. You can just pretty much just walk into almost any of these pickleball courts and just start playing. Nobody cares. Wintertime is a different story. I wrote you this letter to you about our visit in hopes that it gives you a perspective from a newcomer. You and Sue have given us so much information. Your perspective as a longtime resident has given us a lot of insight. Perhaps you can use some of this information to comment or inform others in your YouTube video. Please do not use our last name, and I won't. I'll just say they're from California. Well, I did. Now, at the end of this, I know it's a long video. At the end of this, I'll just say, any of you out there that's done the lifestyle visit, did you experience some of these things yourself? Being given 5 different salespeople to help you out? Did you show up at the lifestyle preview homes with no information there for you? Like the recreational guide? Phone numbers of people to get in contact with in case you have a problem? Did you experience any of what they're saying? A salesman high pressuring you to buy a new home? That's a no-no here. The Villages doesn't do that. I mean, they're well known for no high pressure because they don't have to. Has their sales techniques changed over the years that I'm not aware of? I'm interested. Leave a comment down below, and I guarantee you I'll be reading them, and I'll be finding out, you know, if there's been some changes. And if there's been several changes in a lot of ways, I'll report it. I'll check it out first, but then I'll report it. So let me know. So until then,
see you on the other side.